Hello there YouTube viewers, this is Kvan701. I just want to give you somewhat of an update on the progress on the project of the Clinchfield Curse, aka Ghost Train 2 311. Well, as you are probably all aware, a few months ago, in 2016, on October, I was able to get an early prologue version, an early intro version of what the film might look like. For those of you who have been asking a lot, and I do mean a lot of people have been asking lately of how this whole thing is turning out, well, I'll explain to you in a way. What happened was because at the time back in October, I was trying my best to get the first part of the film over and done with. But what was happening was that because there were so many problems, apparently due to some of the sound effects, and of course the rendering itself was a huge issue, and not to mention some of the clips were pretty tough to narrow in the right timing of the audio with the dialogue as well as the music putting off pulled together. And also another thing was because I ran very short of voice actors at the time, but so what I had to do was to make do with what I had. So all I did was use the dialogue for myself as an early narrator, because in the official version I won't be doing that, because it would take a lot out of my vocal cords, because I have a certain limitation when it comes to voice acting. But yeah, so what I did was I made an attempt at speaking in an American accent. As you probably all know, it wasn't quite the best attempt I did, but I had to put up with it. And anyways, yeah, one of the things I am going to be officially doing is 311's voice driver, the driver that drives the locomotive. That was an official role that I was doing, which wasn't too bad, so hey, at least I did a good attempt, if not a bad one, but at least I tried. But in many cases though, one of the many reasons behind the early prologue video that you saw a couple of months back, and for those of you who are confused if it's the official intro or not, well, it isn't. It was just an early video test to see what 311 would look like and how the intro would actually be in the visionary of my head. And some of you people might have tried to vision what it would have looked like. And surprisingly enough, it stuck very, very close to the original in my fanfic adaptation. Although there were a few changes here and there in terms of the screenshots and some of the lines that had to be rewritten because they didn't sound very good. Also, of course, as we all know, 311 was supposed to be a male, but I wanted to do something a little different. And of course, it was just I wanted to do the gender change and change the 311 to being a female, and that's where Liz comes in. And as we all know, we all recognise her for her OC form as an engine, a bit like Percy. But Liz did a fantastic job on doing the voice rolling, and I have to admit, her role as 311 was very, very fresh, and it was well received. And even to this point now, she's still receiving a lot of good reviews on it. And of course, her voicing 311 as a female actually produces something new to the audience, and they didn't expect that. And I too was pretty surprised with the reception that I got for that. For me casting Liz as 311's innocent side, because I couldn't tell if she could do a very good version of the demon 311. But speaking of that, I was able to find a voice actress who could be very similar to Liz, and of course she's putting real emotion into the character. And what I believe is that when it comes to putting that sort of thing in, you feel for the character, and you know what the character is going to go through. And that, in my opinion, is what might lead to success when the film finally comes. But in any cases, though, the film is actually gaining a little bit of momentum, because since the early prologue was uploaded in late October and up to November, because I uploaded just at the peak of the Halloween season at that time, what had happened was, the prologue had got really, really good following, a lot of likes and a lot of comments. Some were reviewed and some were pretty mixed. But the good news is, though, is that the original introduction, now that I have been working on for a couple of days now, has actually been completed, but I'm not quite satisfied of the intro credits as well as the rendering, so it might take a little bit more, but the good news is all the clips and everything are all placing together and are ready for that. I just have to go through a little bit more one at a time before I'm ready to give it out to you. But the good news as well is also there are some other further, positives to tell you guys, because I know you guys are so anxious, and there are those who are impatient, who have no patience whatsoever, but that's another story. But the further good news is that the trailer, yes, I have an official trailer that is just about 90% complete, and what you will see in that is a demo version of what it might be like in the official release when all the parts are coming out together. But yeah, because of the fact we have some American engines that are going to be used on Sodor, and some of you might be wondering why am I doing that. It's because, if you think about it in the Thomas world, any type of engines from different countries can fit into Sodor. We also happened in the Great Race where multiple different steam engines and diesels and all that kind of stuff came from different parts of the world, and they came there. So, in a way we can do something like that, and but in this case I'm using like real life locomotives, and of course realism in films in terms of a video game like we see in Trains does kind of work to its perfection. But in any cases, you will see a few teasers in there that might be there, or some may not be there, because there are some early dialogues that you may not be hearing in the official. There will be some, some footages, that are like early tests. Like I said, it's just a demo trailer of clips that you may not get to see, but it's to give you an idea of what will be seen in the film. And it's really going to be quite good, and I like how it's turned out. There are some special effects here and there, and of course, it really is a fantastic thing. And I will admit saying this to you lads, even before you guys see it, it is actually one of the best trailers I've ever put together. And I have to give thanks to Shine Ortez and Chuck and David Lambert and everybody else that were also a part of it. I couldn't have done it without them. So I give them an early thumbs up and a good thank you for you guys on that. If you see this video, please be happy to like, share and comment on it. And yeah, the 311 film is gaining a bit of momentum. It might come out at some point, but because there's been some setbacks lately, with some of the lines being delivered, and I have to do some recasting here and there, and of course, if there's anything else, I might try and do some recast on some of the characters that might need to have the voice roles done. But yeah, just to let you guys know is that the 311 film is coming along somewhat smoothly. The trailer is nearly done, but part 1 has been completed, but I have to go through some, procedures to make sure it looks okay before I can get the upload all clear for it. So yeah, that's your updating on 311 and the process that's been going through. This is KFan701. Have a good time, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch up with some more updates when I can.